ShartimusPrime. Reading comics, toys are hella sick, hella whacking it. Taking bad hits, taking back hits. Subscribe.
Party, yeah! Hey, what's up you guys? ShartimusPrime here doing another Marvel Legends figure review on the Marvel Legends Infinite Series Hulkbuster Build-A-Figure Wave Valkyrie 2.0. If you're trying to pick up this figure, you can get it big. Get your big badass toys at BigBadToyStore.com. Click the link in the description below. Yeah, so this is the second Valkyrie figure that we're getting from Hasbro, and it's already looking much better than the first version. Anyway, on the side over here, you can see an image of Valkyrie right there, looking pretty cool. And then on the back, you can see both figures. She's a running change with Thundra. There's a read it. If you want to read it, pause it now. Here's the other figures from the wave. Then on the side, you get Thundra right there. All right, let's get to it and crack this thing open. And here's Valkyrie 2.0 out of the packaging, and a very cool figure. Definitely much better than the first Valkyrie figure that we'd gotten from Hasbro. That one came with a Hulk figure in a 2-pack. This one right here does have some newly molded parts, which I like. We also get some reused parts from the red She-Hulk figure. But the fact that we're getting some brand new parts on this thing makes me like it a little bit more, and I really like the head sculpt. This is a really nice looking head sculpt, especially compared to the original Valkyrie head sculpt. Woohoo! Wow, yeah, this one's way better, man. I really dig it a lot, and I like the paint for the most part. I think the left eye is just slightly derpified, just only a little bit, but really for the most part I think the paint on her lips and the eyebrows and the eyes, and I really like the paint wash on her hair too. It looks really good, so I think for the most part we get some pretty good paint on this head sculpt. You can see the color variation right over here in the blonde. She has a little scrunchies or whatever the hell these are. Then on the back over here, you can see how it splits. Now, this is actually really cool that, this is a figure that doesn't have hair all the way in the back over here, so she could look up. But unfortunately, they did not sculpt this new piece over here so that she can look up. Oh, that's so frustrating. And this is 2.0, so I doubt we're going to see a third Valkyrie figure. But yeah, this is a newly sculpted upper torso over here. Love those cones, by the way. Very good job, Hasbro, on those cones. I'm liking that. But we didn't get a disc hinge over here, which it sorely needs. It really does need it so she can look up. I mean, why not have the figure look up? Actually, the original Valkyrie figure can look up even a little bit more so than this one over here. So that's a bit of a bummer for me. But, it's just going back to the sculpt and paint on this, I feel like it's pretty solid. The silver does look pretty good on this figure. And I like this belt right over here. And it's just molded on there, so it's not removable or anything. And then you just have only paint right here for the arms. So these are reused arms from other figures. And same thing with these black bands, which they're painted pretty well. So there's no flesh tone seeping underneath this, So I think the paint over here does look pretty solid. Now, aside from the BAF piece, this is the only accessory she has, which is her sword. And it's the same exact sword that we'd gotten from the first Valkyrie figure, but it's just painted differently. And I think the paint on this newer one is much better. I was always irritated by this not being painted silver over here. And this sword fits nicely into either of her hands. You can see her fingernails are even sculpted right there on the hands. Now, an interesting thing that JC brought up in his review was he was trying to figure out what mold this body was from, because it has this little bikini bottom thing sculpted in the booty right over there. Now here's my speculation, because you get these added parts over here, so this is all brand new stuff. I think that they're going to make a Valkyrie that had the sexy legs showing, like the original version right here. Well, these aren't so sexy, but on this one they are, and it would have been really nice to see the flesh tone legs, but I think at the last minute they decided to go with the whole black legging thing, because that's how she's looking in the comics right now. Correct me if I'm wrong about that. So now we're still stuck with these seams right here around the booty, which is not a bad one, I might add. I think they did a really good job, and really like these thighs. Like I said earlier, these are the red She-Hulk thighs. So there's no paint or anything on the lower half of the figure. It gets a little bland over here, but I mean, what else are you going to do? So I don't really know what they could have done to make this lower part of the figure a little bit more interesting, but I don't know. I think it's fine the way it is, really. I don't have too many complaints about that part of it. So aside from her not looking up as much as I'd like her to, wow, she really does only look up a little bit, and it looks like she's only looking head on too. But anyway, you can rotate the head side to side, and her ponytails or her pigtails right over here don't really hinder articulation, which is great. She gets a little bit of neck pivot in there, and she could look down a fair amount, so that's cool. She has shoulders that move outward, you can move them forward, bicep swivel, single jointed elbow, and I'm waiting for a double jointed elbow for the female mold. That would be so awesome to see that, but she could only bend in that much at the elbow, rotate side to side. Her wrist rotates side to side, they hinge up and down. She has a decent diaphragm joint, not my favorite. It rotates side to side. You do get some pivot over here, and and it barely moves forward, and it moves back a little bit more. So you get these hip joints, which are kind of weird, I gotta say. You can move them outward, but they're kind of like the Y joints where you have to rotate them around to really get them moving forward and back. See, I can't really rotate it forward unless I spin this joint around over here and then move that forward. Now I gotta utilize the upper thigh swivel to get it like she's kicking forward. So, and that can be kind of strange looking depending on what part of the figure you're looking at. Anyway, she has double jointed knees over here. She has the ankles that move down, up, and she has ankle pivot and peg holes at the bottom of her feet. Now, Valkyrie is a tall female figure. She's standing over 7 inches tall. And you can see this new Valkyrie figure compared to the original Valkyrie from the Hulk 2-pack. Thank you, Sean Long. And this is a much better Valkyrie. I mean, come on, man. There's almost no comparison. I'm really curious to see, though, if a customizer is going to go ahead and paint the bare legs on this one. I'd really love to see how that's going to look. I wanted to see how this cape would actually fit on this Valkyrie over here. And there's no peg hole on her back, but the pigtails kind of hold the cape in place. So if you wanted her displayed like that, that kind of works. And then here's Valkyrie compared to the red She-Hulk, and as you can see, they have the same legs and arms. And here she is standing next to our latest Marvel Legends Thor, and they look pretty good standing side by side. Thor's looking a little on the pale side, though, in comparison. And then here's Valkyrie compared to the Marvel Legends Agent Venom. You know, out of all the superheroes out there, how is he the one that got so lucky? Oh, that's why. And then here she is next to the Marvel Legends Big Time Letdown Spider-Man. So even though I think there's some things about the articulation on this figure that don't really agree with me, I still really like the figure overall, and it's a much better figure compared to the first version that we had gotten. And you can get her with both hands on the sword handle right over there, so I think that's pretty cool. Anyway, I hope you guys liked my video. If you did, please hit the like button. Click any of these boxes right over here for more Shart in your face. Thanks so much for you guys going to the Patreon account. I really appreciate your support. Check out my Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and go to MarvelousNews.com for the latest in Marvel-related news. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.
That's crispy.
And I hope that, damn it.